Well, here we are. I just slapped together something so that I could record here in the setup. Let's get right into it. So what is up, boys and girls? Creeposaur from Creeposaur Inc. here, and today we are here to do some more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh content. You could call it that if you really want. Today we're gonna talk about the ban list that's been released. I'm using my webcam that I usually use for Skype and such. I came home to this. So, it's going to come into effect on March 31st, so 10 days. Convenient. I mean, we've been waiting for this for how long? So, let's just get right into the list. So, first thing that I'm actually pretty happy with, we got Magic Spectre Unicorn Kieran. Was limited, now forbidden. Pendulum decks are going to be a lot weaker now. Let's put it that way. This was just an extremely powerful card. You could just play triple Bunbuku and then still have access to him, or you could draw him. It was just an extremely powerful card, even by itself. You just play cards that get to it easier. I'm happy to see it go. That's what I'm saying. It's a really hard card to deal with just because it floats. Like, it floats by itself and just is able to get around a lot of cards and makes it a really hard card to get rid of unless you just straight up kaiju it. So it's a pretty good hit, I have to say. That's my favorite one out of all of them. The Tyrant Neptune, as we can see here, this is gonna be forbidden. This is forbidden for a reason. In the OCG they had some like crazy combo where it like burned for a crap ton. So I'm okay with this. It made sense for the future formats. It made a lot of sense why they did that. But the rest of the list doesn't really have any rhyme or reason, so don't be coming here expecting like some crazy good hits or anything like that. The only good thing about this, I really feel, is this and one other thing on here that I kind of sort of agree with. This list is pretty underwhelming for the amount of time that we have been sitting around waiting for it to come out. There are a lot of cards I would have liked to see get hit. And there are a lot of cards that I'm happy that didn't get hit. So next up, we see Vanities right here get hit. We all saw this coming. This was a thing that we all the thing that we all expected to happen. I didn't really see it happening. I expected it to happen, but I just thought it was one of those cards that just put the game in check. When they did this, I didn't expect them to put the next card on the list. I just didn't really feel like this was necessary. It was just a one-of, like a Saki one-of, that you could play as to just put the game in check or turn the game into your favor. It's an extremely easy to out card. I mean, you can just like MST another card, like blind MST a trap. Sure, they'll chain it or something like that, because everything that you get rid of in the back row is going to get chained anyway. But I mean, this is just an easily outable card in most decks, because everyone plays Twin Twisters or Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of. You can Cosmic Cyclone it or something. There are a lot of ways to get rid of it, and it's just one of those cards I felt didn't really need the hit. It was just more of a put you in check card. But I can understand why any card that's in the TCG or anything like that cripples or makes it inaccessible to special summon is gonna get hit. So I see why they did this. I understand why. It's just one of those cards that I kind of question a little bit. It's a one-of, and it's just one of those cards like how Solemn is just a really good card overall. This is one of those cards that, sure, it says, oh, neither player can special summon, but again, it's hurting you as well at the same time. So I didn't really see this happening. Next up, we got Maxi Limited. This is one of those cards that I didn't see getting hit at all. It was one of those cards that at 2, at 3, I can understand why they summoned it, and then at 1, I don't understand why they did it at all. Links are coming out. We have a lot of decks out there like Zoo, Infernoid. You have, Water, which I play, which is just you can't play. But now that everyone is going to be at 1 on the 31st, it makes me a little less worried that someone's going to have the Maxi. You got Metal Foe. You have Cosmo even. You got a couple of those running around. just any deck really that special summons a lot, and any deck that special summons in general, so you can get a couple of draws or just stops your opponent. It's just one of those cards that I felt like at 2 it was stable. You didn't see people drawing it as much. It was one of those cards that could be used to give you a little bit of advantage, or it could be used as like a stop hand trap. You're gonna go less. It's either you're gonna draw a good amount of cards. You're gonna draw, if your opponent is smart, they'll only give you like 1 or 2 cards. Or if it's one of those decks where it's a stop card or a halt card, you won't get anything, and pretty much you're losing something other than they couldn't do much. At 1, it's going to be an extremely sacky card. It's going to have the same mentality as Vanity's Emptiness. It's going to be one of those cards that if you draw it and you're playing against a zoo deck, your opponent's going to be, wow, I just lost to a Maxi. And I never saw it as being one of those cards. I always saw it as one of those cards that, all right, this is a good card overall. It's something that gives me a good a card that can be a staple. And nowadays you don't really see a lot of staple cards. You see like archetype specific cards that just, and then just a couple cards that just work in the deck, or just cards that are just good overall. I know that's what staple cards are, the cards that are good overall. But this is one of those cards that I just saw was a necessary card for the format because it helped out every single deck in the game, and gave you advantage when, say, you're playing a deck that's not as good. It gave you more advantage because you're adding more access to your cards and stuff like that. So, I just felt like it was one of those cards that was good at 2 and should have stayed at 2. Even with Links coming out, I don't understand why they did this, and then Vanities happened, so there's going to be more special summoning. I don't get it. I feel like it's one of those cards that needed to be in the game just to put stuff in check. I guess that's the way they put it at 1. But to me, personally, it made more sense. Next up, we got Rescue Cat. It got the errata, if I remember correctly, so I kind of saw it coming myself. A lot of people saw it coming. Next up, we got Bryanak. It also got an errata, so I'm going to test it and see if it's cool in water. If it is, then I'm going to play with it. If not, it's just a nice card that we have back in our arsenal. Next up, we got Brain Control. It got the errata. It's not as good as it was once was. So, I mean, if you want to try it out, go for it. But it's just one of those cards that we have back now. Future Fusion, same thing. It got an errata. It's not going to be as good as it was. It's more of a going second card now than anything. So, I mean, cool. We got Future Fusion back. We got Imperial Order back, which means you got like another anti-spell kind of thing going on, but it's also, I believe it also got an errata, but it's still actually pretty good. Imperial Order will always be one of those just pretty good cards. Back in the day it was really good, but now in these formats it's going to be okay. It's going to be a pretty good card to have around. Wisdom Eye, I don't care. I don't think anybody cares. The thing that is kind of underwhelming is that we can see here Zodiac Rat Pierre is semi'd. Let me put it this way. Japan saw how good Zodiac was. They got rid of everything, pretty much. They got rid of, like, I think it was Trident, Barrage was gone, Rat Pierre was limited. Like, the deck was dead. Like, you can't use the deck anymore. There is no hit to Trident, there's no hit to Barrage, there is no hit to, like, anything else that would make sense. This gets semi'd, which does make the Rat combo a lot harder, or a little bit harder to make, but you still have access to Barrage, you still have access to Trident, Broadbull, Borbo, Tiger Mortar, Whiptail, your Thoroughblades, your everything. And with Maxi being limited, it just gives this deck like free reign pretty much. I mean, you play Gigasso Emerald, and with the combo, you usually just cycle back 2 of your Rat Pierres anyway, so they're just going to make it in a way that the combo will just work out with 2 rats. I know the deck was like, hey, 3 rats, this is really good, but with 2 of them, it's going to make it a little bit harder to make the combo, but the deck is still going to be like a powerhouse going first. And just, it's going to be not as good going second. It's still going to be an extremely strong and powerful deck. It's still going to be a tier 1 deck. The going second is just going to be a little bit more of a thought process than it was before. We see my buddy Yugibot here, getting on. And then we got Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. The Kaiju package is just gonna be a little bit smaller. That's about it. And then we got Sangan Unlimited because of the errata. So the biggest gripe I have with this list is that Zoo didn't get hit. It got like a slap on the wrist. It's like the same problem we have with Necroz. Necroz wasn't dying. They hit it once because they thought they did the right thing. And it wasn't. It just substituted whatever it needed. And this time around, it's Zoo, and it's just like a slap on the wrist again. But this time it's even worse because they still have everything else at 3, which makes it a problem. Still, and then we got, just everything still at full power. Like, I would have seen Inferno getting a little bit of a hit. I would have liked to see Snow getting a hit. I would have liked to see what else would I like to see? Paleo getting some kind of hit. I know that hits me a little because they would probably go straight for Toad. I'm okay with that. But overall, this is an extremely underwhelming list for the amount of time that we were waiting. The underwhelming cards that they did put on here, the cards that they just didn't hit at all. I feel like at this point they've given up. Konami is just given up on the TCG and is just trying to suck us dry for money, because OCG, ban, limit, hit everything that's necessary. Make sure that the players are wanting to come back. They want to play their game and everything, like making sure that it's a fresh and new game all the time. And for us, they're just trying to suck us dry for our money. And that's not a way to run a game that has been split by a ban list. You want it to be, you want us to feel equal, right? OCG gets, Jesus Christ, that was loud. Like, OCG gets the good list, gets all the good cards first, and we get to see how their formats work out, and then we get a little bit of a look into what our format's going to look like, right? But when it comes down to, like, something like this, which is a complete and utter, like, diss, I don't know how else to put it. It's really, like, upsetting to see how they're going to treat their players like this. They have a lot of Western Hemisphere players that want to play the game and want something refreshing. And this isn't refreshing. This is just something to try and keep, like, a good flow of money going for that Zoo deck. Like, I mean, there's nothing here that warrants more players to want to either come back or play their game, continue to play their game. And that's why so many players are leaving. We waited so long for a ban list and for a ban list like this to happen. And a lot of players left because of how broken Zoo was. And this doesn't bring any rhyme or reason or warrant any players to want to come back to the game. It's just something like, hey, this thing happened. Cool. That's all I really have to say on it. It's extremely underwhelming. It's extremely upsetting, and it's disrespect to a lot of the players that are in the TCG. Me being one of them, I'm really, really upset with this. We have D-Barrier, one of the most broken cards in game, and it's chainable, so it can be used in Paleo. Not even touched. Strike, not even touched. I know it's not one of those cards that you really need to hit, but it's just one of those cards that I feel like should be semi'd. Really good at 3. Ghost Ogre, really good card, not even hit. Dryden, not even touched. Omega, not even hit. It's really, really upsetting. Put it that way. The game has been stale. The game has been frustrating to play, and not only watch, to see it play, because it's just Zoo. It's all it is. And when you see something different, I'm excited, because then it's like it's refreshing to see something other than just Zoo. I mean, at least with Necros format, we had a couple other decks lying around, but we knew that was the reigning champ. It wasn't like so overwhelming. And I know when Necros was out, that was a problem for me, and I really didn't like how prevalent and how how much the community was consumed by Necros. I mean, the game still warranted people to play like the other assortment of decks that were out there, and now we just have to deal with Zoo. It doesn't give people a reason to play the game or come back to it or pick it up or, you know, even watch it. I mean, that's my point of view on it. I don't really know. It's really upsetting to look at. And for all those players out there, your boy, where is he? Your boy Stratos is still on the ban list, never to come off again. I mean, he came semi in the OCG. That's what I have to say on it. That's all I'm gonna say. I needed to record this video because, I mean, it just dropped, and kind of angry, to be honest. Extremely underwhelming. I'm gonna say it again: upsetting, disrespectful. We just saw the OCG ban list, and to see our comparison to that is disgusting. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it or agree with what I think, like the video, or, you know, leave a comment in the comment section below if you think differently or if you agree. Definitely subscribe to the channel for some more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh content from me and YugiBot. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Catch you guys in the next one.